you know, I was perfectly fine, living my life, thinking that the reflection in the mirror was just really disappointed. Like, you know how you look at your reflection and you kind of feel like your reflection is going, man, what are you doing with your life right now? Like, seriously? I didn't need the paranoia of thinking that my reflection was going to, try to replace me. Although I may have set myself up well enough to where my mirror doppelganger is like, yeah, it's just not worth it. The blurb on the back of this, the very first sentence says, ever had that feeling your reflection is plotting against you? Alan, every single day. Every day. Double Jeopardy by Alan Bayles explores this very interesting question. So there's the inspector, Detective Inspector David Barnes, and he is called to this house and for a double murder, and I was kind of annoyed by the David Barnes character because he seemed so cliche starting off, because he's just this guy living alone with his dog. And Andy, his sidekick, junior, whatever, calls him up and says, hey, they're needing us, there's a double homicide, we need to get over there, it's pretty gruesome. And he makes the comment, did you fall asleep on the couch with the dog again? And this is just kind of a cliche thing for the main character, Inspector, always starts off, for some reason, alone and miserable and sad, and maybe he has a dog or maybe he doesn't. So I was kind of annoyed that's how it started off, and then he gets pulled into this case, and there's all these different things that are going on. There's there's a woman, oh my gosh, what is her name? I keep going back to Mary, and I don't think Mary is right, because Mary is Andy's wife, and that's a whole mess in and of itself, because she's a very sweet, devoted mother and wife, and there's a whole storyline. I'm not going to get into it because it's all spoilers, but the whole book is a trip. What is Cooper's first name? Maybe we could just call her Cooper. Zoe. Oh my gosh, Zoe. I love Zoe so much. Hang on, I'll find it. Is it Wendy? Yeah, Wendy. Wendy Cooper. Okay. Got it. Got there in a minute. I don't know why I could never remember her name, because like every time the name came up and I was like, okay, but it's mostly, she's mostly known as, depending on where you're at, she's either Cooper as an investigator, or she's like General Cooper or something like that, Colonel Cooper. So, the story. There is our world, okay? And then there is the Mirror World, the world on the other side of the mirror, where the Roman Empire has not yet fallen. And I joked with my husband that Double Jeopardy was Alan's Roman Empire, because, and I think there's going to be another book because of the way it ended. It makes me think there might be another book in the series, so that's something I'm I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to it or not, because it was a really good book. The characters are well developed. There is definitely a differentiation between how they speak, how they act. You can tell when they're speaking, who's speaking, and that's something that I look for a lot in these different places, or in the different books. But David Barnes is kind of stoic and he seems kind of cold and precise, but then there are certain people that can get close to him, like Wendy and Claire and Andy, and they're the only ones that really see David's more warmer side. And then there's, and Jenny, of course, his dog, which, by the way, my favorite character is definitely Jenny the dog. I liked Jenny. I liked the way that she just had this kind of sixth sense, as you would expect from a dog. And she was very like, okay, this is a good person. This is a person I want to bark at and I want to bite them. And she was kind of a really good barometer, not only for David, but also for us, the readers, to be able to tell when, because it gets hard sometimes to tell when somebody has been replaced or not. And there are some that are obvious replacements. So basically the mirrors are a portal where the doppelgangers in the mirror world can come through and they replace their real world counterpart. And as Claire points out, like, there are people who, they disappear and then when they come back they're completely different. And Dave and Andy are both like, well, that's not unusual. People do disappear a lot. Like, they go on retreats and they maybe they've been kidnapped, or maybe they went on a sabbatical of some sort, or whatever. They just went and found themselves, and then they come back, and of course they're different because people change over the years. And Claire points out, yes, they change over the years, not over a couple of days. So, for instance, a woman goes missing for several days, for a couple of days, and when she comes back, everybody's like, where were you? And she's like, would you guys relax? I went on a retreat to just kind of decompress, and you know, the stress of the job was getting to me, and I just needed to go and relax a little bit. And so she comes back, but she's completely different. She's very cold, and she's very calculating, and she's a lot more ambitious than she was when she left. And it's easy for people to just kind of play off of, well, okay, well, that rest must have really done her good because now she's really driven for her job. Great. You know? And that's where Claire points out, yeah, like, yes, people do disappear and they go away for a while and they come back and they change because it's been a couple of years. They've grown, they've developed. This is not a couple of years. This is a couple of days. She was gone for 3 days. That was it. You don't change that much over 3 days. And she starts bringing them into this, talking about this different world. And at first they're skeptical because, like, okay, Crazy Pants, slow down a minute, you know. And she eventually convinces them that this is the case. And so now you've got this small little ragtag team of investigators and professors and whatnot trying to figure out first how do we get to these doppelgangers, how do we stop them, and where do we go from there. And just when you think you know where things are going, Alan does a really great job of pulling the rug out from under you, but it doesn't feel like it's cheating in any way. It's like you sit there and like, oh, I didn't see that coming, but also, yeah, I can see how that happened. Yeah, I'm here for it. Let's go. Carry on. And there are sometimes this has those times, somebody pointed out that you get, every once in a while, get one of these books where you're reading through it and you're just like doing this like banshee scream and you slam the book shut and toss it away and you're like, what? And then you gotta go and pick it up and you keep reading it. And Double Jeopardy also, if you are not if you're one of those people that have a preference for audiobooks, it's available on audiobooks. And the woman that Jill Mills, who does the audiobook, does such a great job. She is great with changing the voices out and really getting into the emotions. Like, if somebody's yelling, she's yelling it, and she's not just reading the book. Like, she is in the book, and it's really fun to listen to. And at one point, I had to put the book down. I actually stopped reading it at chapter 13. Yeah, that's where I stopped reading the physical book because I had some other things that I needed to do. So I switched to the audiobook, which I got with one of my Audible credits. And I was kind of puttering around the house and, you know, doing the laundry, doing the dishes and everything. And then it was, okay, I can go back to doing something else that would require me to put the audiobook away, or I could find something else to keep me occupied while I was listening to the audiobook. And what I decided on was to mow my yard during the hottest part of the day. So I can honestly say that this book made me sick, because during the hottest part of the day, I'm out there mowing my yard. I have about a half acre, 3/4 of an acre of land that I was mowing. And I don't mow with a rider because I have yet to fix the rider. So I'm out there with a push mower doing my yard, and I ended up with sun sickness. But then I had an excuse to lay in bed and keep listening to the audiobook. So who really losing here, you know? So yeah, nothing, a bit of rest and a bit of cold. I took a nice shower. I blasted the AC. I grabbed some ice water and some ginger ale and a little bit of a few cold packs and a little bit of ginger ale. None of that, a little bit of rest. I was right as rain. I still don't feel great, but I feel better than I did coming in from mowing the yard in 98-degree heat. So yeah, I can take this out since I'm finished with the book. But yeah, I didn't enjoy the book, but I couldn't stop reading it. I still would give this, I don't typically do stars here, but this is definitely a 5-star read. And anybody else who likes science fiction and likes thrillers and likes a book that's going to completely mess with your mind is going to love this book. So I would definitely get it. It's not even that big of a book, honestly. It's only 468 pages, you know. So I got this done in 2 days between the audiobook and reading it. So not a big book at all. Actually, I got a bigger book that I'm looking forward to reading that's over 500 pages. I like these. I like these books that are, you know, 200 and 300 and 400 page books. Every once in a while, I do like a 600 page book. I joke that Timothy K. Clark's Dragon Witch, which is still my current favorite book of the year. I like to joke that it took me 3 weeks and a dislocated shoulder to read it because it was over 640 pages. But the only reason it took me that long is because at the time I had a full-time job, so I had to read in between jobs. And right now this is my full-time job, so I have all the time in the world to read. And yeah, like I said, I finished this in 2 days. And go get it. If this sounds like something that you would read, I mean, honestly, everything that I have read this year, I have rated 5 stars on Amazon because I feel like every book is a 5-star read if it finds if it finds the right reader. And I won't recommend a book that is badly written. So like if there's a book that there's been 4 books that I have refused to do videos on. One was a book that it was so discombobulated of a story, I couldn't even tell you what the story was about. One was so badly edited, it felt like the writer had basically published their first draft without editing it at all. One was from an author whose name I will not mention because they don't deserve any of that kind of recognition, but they have scammed a lot of people out of money. And then the fourth one, the book was probably well written, probably well edited. The cover was amazing, but it was not from an indie publishing house. It was from one of the bigger publishing houses. So those are the only reasons I didn't do those. Any books, I have enjoyed almost all of the books. I didn't enjoy this one because it made me paranoid. And it was such a mind trip, which I do like a good mind trip, but you don't have to enjoy a book for it to be a 5-star read. You can just be like a book that will bring you in, that you can't put down, I feel is worthy of a 5-star rating. So I would absolutely give this 5 stars. I would give them all 5 stars, but I'm very generous with my 5-star giving. So take that how you will, do with that what you will. But if this sounds like a book you're interested in, by all means, there's a link in the description below. Click on the link, go get your copy. Get the audiobook, get the Kindle or the KU. It's available in paperback, hardback, Kindle, and audiobook. So whatever your choice of preference is, it's got you covered. So, but yeah, I would definitely recommend this to anybody who likes thriller or sci-fi and stuff like that. So, guys, that's all I got for you today. I will see you in a couple of days. What are we doing next? Oh, not actually. Something that isn't going to make me afraid of my own reflection or make me feel like I need to cover up my mirrors. Alan. Thank you for the read. I love the book. I didn't enjoy it, but I loved reading it. If that makes any sense at all. If that makes sense. If you get that. Didn't enjoy it, loved it though. So. Oh, it did. Yeah, Mirror Wars, Volume 1. So yeah, there are more books. Okay. That's all I got for you guys today. Go get your book. Let's be paranoid together. Bye.